Hi, it's Ian from the Postal Hub Podcast.
And Marek from Last Mile Experts.
And we are the Last Mile Prophets. This is the last word on the last mile. Marek, the Polish last mile, you keep telling everyone that it's dynamic, there's stuff happening, and stuff has happened. Again, there's been an acquisition by Allegro. And, well, Marek, do you want to just give the background to what's happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So Allegro, which is eBay Polish style, i.e. the biggest e-commerce site, pretty much started as an auction site, but now does pretty much everything, has bought X-press Couriers, which is probably one of the largest same-day on-demand couriers. And it looks like Superfast delivery is coming.
I thought that Allegro had a major deal with Impost, and sort of that was the backbone to their ability to deliver, well, free or cheap. So does this mean that they're going to start looking at delivering to the doorstep in addition to... What's this mean?
I think it means that they're taking a page out of Amazon's book and they want to give speed, not just convenience and price. So this will allow them, at least in urban areas, to deliver same day. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be to door, because that same courier can deliver to lockers. And you've got to remember that at the same time, Allegro has started setting up their own lockers.
And I was going to ask, just on that very point, Allegro started up its own locker network. And there is another locker network in Poland that, if I'm not mistaken, is open to multiple carriers. Is that right?
I think, Ian, as you remember, I call Poland Lockerland because everyone who's anyone is here. So the biggest network at the moment is Impost, with about 14,000 lockers in situ, which it dwarfs everybody else.
Yeah.
Then you've got probably the next two in size are going to be Kainiao, which I've pronounced badly, I should say Kainiao, which is Alibaba to all intents and purposes. And then you've got Allegro. Watch this space, because in our Last Mile Experts new out-of-home report, you'll get the full details on exactly who's got what. But it's probably significantly less. My feeling is probably around about 1,000 max a pop for those two players. Then you've got SwipBox, who have a few hundred, which are shared between DPD, DHL, Polish Post. Could be a bit more now because DPD started setting up dedicated lockers. And I think, who have I missed? That there was something else. There's a couple of small ones.
What I wanted to ask on this very topic, though, is there's the Amazon's launch. Has Amazon launched in Poland yet? Or is the launch imminent?
Oh, yeah. Not only has Amazon launched, but they've actually finally launched Prime.
Right, and so this is what I wanted to get to. They've announced their delivery partners for Prime, and they also announced a couple of months ago, I can't remember how long ago it was now, a partnership with InPost as well. So where does Allegro's acquisition and fit into this dynamic last mile?
Well, one of the interesting things here is I think Allegro wants to differentiate themselves, and one of the USPs for Amazon was Superfast delivery. Now, if Allegro has bought one of the few players that is able to offer that, then it's going to make it that wee bit more difficult for Amazon. And I would imagine that's what it's all about, to get in there. I actually, by the way, because I knew there was a transaction about to take place, and I actually felt that it was probably Impost that was buying X-press Couriers, in order to offer that Superfast service. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think we'll end up with either Amazon themselves, less likely, or coercing one of their partners, probably InPost, to create an on-demand service, or creating a flex type service via, we've got Glovo, Bolt, whatever else here, so maybe one of those guys will support it.
InPost launched its same-day locker-to-locker service. So how does that fit into all of this as well?
Well, if we agree that lockers are super efficient and slipper distance, then actually it becomes quite a strong competitive tool. I think that it means that, does mean that Amazon, who use Impost, will have access to that. But it's not a to-door Superfast delivery. The benefit of having something like X-press Couriers is for those cases where you need a to-door delivery, that will be available.
This is all underpinned by continuing e-commerce growth in Poland, though, because if you don't have the growth in e-commerce, then you're going to have empty parcel lockers. You're going to have empty delivery vans. So am I right in assuming then that e-commerce is continuing to grow strongly? It's not just we've had this pandemic blip and everything, but is there continuing to be a strong enough growth to justify all this investment and these acquisitions, number one? And is there enough in this cross-border e-commerce to justify players like Alibaba setting up their own locker networks within Poland?
Okay, there's a few questions there. First of all, I haven't actually checked the latest data, but I'd be shocked to find that it's not growing. But more important than just that is what percentage of that business is going through lockers and PUDOs, because that's important in terms of your question about capacity. So my view is, without a doubt, every time we have assessed the market, the percentage of parcels going out of home, i.e. lockers and PUDOs, has been growing. Started at a fairly low level. In the first piece of research we did, I think it was about 30%. We think now it's probably 45%. So growing fast. And then I got so carried away. What was the last part of your question?
About cross-border.
Cross-border. Ali and cross-border, it's a bit of a different issue. It's to do with the fact that we discussed this, I think, before, the new VAT rules, which mean it's no longer efficient or possible to send low-value items by post at a very low cost. It takes time to arrive, but you can do it individually. So they need to have localized stock. If they have localized stock, they need localized delivery options, which, by virtue of the fact they don't need to use postal clearance, will tend to be post and non-post. So it's complicated.
Now, just coming back to our original topic here, which was Allegro buying a local express courier company. Is there any scope for more acquisitions in Poland, or do you think this is really just a sign of what's going to come in other parts of Western Europe and even North America? Will we see more e-commerce players decide to acquire carriers to either guarantee excellent quality of delivery, to have more control over the customer experience from the buying through to delivery? Just gaze into your crystal ball here, Marek, with the time we have left, and just give us a couple of thoughts there.
So I think yes. The challenge in Poland, Ian, is there's not too much left to buy. But if you look at other places, so the other big player in our neck of the woods is eMag in Romania, probably even stronger locally than Allegro's in Poland. And they bought a same-day company, Sameday, and it's exactly the same idea. They've developed Sameday actually from a super fast same-day delivery player, as the name suggests, to actually being an all-encompassing operator with lockers and next-day delivery, etc. But I think, answering the question, yes, the smart cookies will probably have a mixed approach of using third parties, setting up their own operations. And basically, if you're setting up your own operations, if you can, it's a lot easier to buy something that's up and running. The reason that, if you take Amazon, why they didn't do it in the UK is there wasn't anyone at the time that was available for sale that they could buy that had the right mix of features and quality. So long answer, yes. Short answer is yes, I can see that happening where there are available targets.
Well, everybody, let us know what you think in the comments below. Will we see more activity in e-commerce companies buying last mile players? What do you think of this acquisition by Allegro in Poland? Share your comments below. Marek Różycki, thanks for being part of Last Mile Profits today.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, everybody.